It's Wednesday, 13 December 2017, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. Safety energy lock number 13 came into the universe meaning love thy enemies. And safety energy lock number 13 is located here in the middle of the chest on either side of the center of the sternum, in the bust line. And it's not a coincidence that safety energy lock number 13 occurs on either side of the heart chakra. So love thine enemies does not mean necessarily just allowing, people to do whatever they want to do to you, but when you bear a grudge and when you hold a grudge and when you have resentment towards someone else, they are actually taking your power, or you're allowing your power to be robbed. So when you can take that back, then that power becomes available to you. And the enemy number one is usually yourself. So when safety energy lock number 13 is open and we're attuned to the frequency of that, or we resonate with that frequency of the 13, then we are able to love ourselves, warts and all. And when we can do that, then we become a river as opposed to being a reservoir. Reservoirs dam water up and it doesn't flow and it becomes stagnant. Rivers allow the water to flow, so the water stays clean and it is continuously moving. So instead of becoming a reservoir of love where our love feels like it's finite, because we can only give what we have, remember. So you can't give what you don't have. And if you don't have that love for yourself, it's very difficult for you to give that beautiful, clear, nourishing energy to everyone else. When we are able to do that, when we're able to love our enemies and ourselves, the chief amongst all of them, then we are able to actually love externally much more fully and freely and in a more, beautiful and wholesome way, if you want to put it that way. So that's the frequency that we potentially can resonate with today. 13 is a 4. 4 is about boundaries. 4s love to be different. 4s like to do things differently. And so if 4s feel like they're being trapped into being part of the herd, then they can very often behave in fairly outrageous or outlandish ways in order to prove their differentness. 4 is a square, as I said, and the square is about boundaries. So 4s are the visionaries. They are the big picture seers. And the big picture seer is being able to see all parts of ourselves, the betrayer, the murderer, the killer, the liar, the cheat, the sneak, the gossip. Those are obviously the ones I'm charged on. Those, as well as the leader, the resilient, the inspirer, the genius, trying to think of more positive ones, the solution provider, the one who sees the balance. So it's all of those aspects that we're able to see. And when we break those boundaries and we look at that big picture, sometimes what we see we don't like, but we only don't like it because somewhere we've been taught to judge that. So there's certain things that we judge as good and there's certain things that we judge as bad. And so when we judge parts of ourselves as bad, then we make ourselves bad and then we can't love ourselves. So 4 gives us the opportunity to embrace, to appreciate, to see, to bring to the surface all parts of ourselves, our greatness and our pettiness, and to integrate all of those so that we can love ourselves completely. And when we can do that for ourselves, then we can do that for other people, because we realize that we are no different from them, really. On some level, we are all connected to each other and we're all the same. So if you are angry because they betrayed you, but you can see that you are also a betrayer, then your anger at them goes away. So when you do that, you actually foster connection. It doesn't mean you need to spend time with them if you don't like them, but we do actually foster connection in that way. So we've got the 4, which is an earth number. We've got the 3 from December, which is a fire number. And we've got the 1 from 2017, which is an air number. So we have some earth in that life map route today. And that helps us to be more grounded. We have no water in the life map at all today. So that it usually means one of two things. Either you are blunted from your emotions. In other words, you're not really connected to them. Now, that's very difficult if you want to try and love yourself and your enemies, right? Or we're overwhelmed by emotions. And so or we feel overwhelmed by emotions. We feel very emotional and we might not be able to put our finger on exactly why. That's okay. Those emotions need to come to the surface, and remember, they want to be felt. They don't want to be fixed. We have the potential to align our will with divine will, with the laws of the universe, and then step into that best version of ourselves, as we're going to have for the whole of December. The helper or the hero of today is the 8, which is another very strong earth number. So the 8 in this position is the solution provider, the practical solution provider. What can I practically do today to, I don't know, help me feel better, if that's what you want to do, or make a difference in the world, or get this project finished, or get this project started? Practical. It's the practical solution provider, and it's a very grounding earthed number. The villain of today is the 3. Yes, is the 3. And 3 in this position, in the villain position, usually means that we are potentially waylaid by distractions. We get distracted by low priority. So we have this vision for what we want to do today, or we have a goal that we want to accomplish, or we've got a timeline that we want to be on, or we've got a deadline that we need to meet before the end of the year, or whatever it is. And we have the practical plans in place, but we can feel as if we're being railroaded by our emotions, and that then distracts us. Now, I don't know that that's a bad thing. Sometimes, you just have to make some time to be, as opposed to doing as much as what we normally do. But if you do find yourself being distracted, if you do find yourself being taken up by low priority things, spending too much time on Facebook or whatever the case may be, then be aware that that could be the villain pulling you off track. And then you want to focus on, what can I practically do right now to get me closer to where I want to be. Safety interlock number 13 is located on the middle finger. So if we hold our middle fingers, we balance our liver and gallbladder organ function energy. We become more decisive. We'll help to harmonize anger and resentment and irritability. Oh, wowzers, can't speak today, right? Anger, resentment, irritability, and guilt. So if we feel guilty because we feel that we've done something to someone else, holding our middle finger helps to harmonize that. It helps us to see the big picture around that, and it can help us to find a solution on how we can resolve any tensions or conflict in that way. And it basically just stops us from losing our shit, right? So hold your middle finger, have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow.